Last week was wildfires. This week, we're adding storms to the mix. Welcome to spring, folks. Let's talk about who may be getting a bit of hail in this Monday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning. It's the 4th of March, 2024, a Monday. I'm Texas Storm Chaser Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. A relatively busy weekend in the fire weather department across the western third of Texas. Thankfully, we did not hear of any significant issues arise outside of a few flare-ups in the Texas Panhandle. We did have a new fire near Borger yesterday afternoon. Firefighters, both aerial and ground assets, were able to get a handle on that relatively quickly, although it did put up quite a bit of smoke. As far as we know, it did not burn any structures, which is always good news. We'll talk more about the fire weather threat as we continue on into this video, but we're also going to be dealing with the chance for thunderstorms. Let's start off this morning with fog. Yes, we're going to have some fog this morning. We're going to have a lot of fog tonight. Sea fog will be a threat for most of the day across the Texas Gulf Coast. As we get into this evening, through about 10 a.m. Tuesday, dense fog will spread inland across South Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, the Rio Grande Plains, the coastal bend, South Texas, the coastal plains, South Central Texas, the Hill Country, up into Southeast Texas, the Brazos Valley, the Golden Triangle, East Texas, even into portions of Central Texas, North Texas, Texoma, Northeast Texas, the Arklatex, and more isolated into the Concho Valley and Big Country. If you want to think about it in a less complex way, eastern half of Texas, you could have fog tonight, and some of that fog will be quite dense with visibilities well below 1/4 mile. So keep that in mind if you are flying out or flying in the morning, along with giving yourself a little extra time to drive. Let's go ahead and continue on, taking a look at the high-res rapid refresh model for today, tonight, into Tuesday. We do have the opportunity for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, perhaps this morning into this afternoon across East Texas, Southeast Texas, the Golden Triangle. But in all likelihood, we're going to have to wait until this evening and early Tuesday morning. We may see yet another round of isolated thunderstorms, with the possibility of a couple of storms along a southeastward moving frontal boundary tomorrow evening in the Arklatex. Same thing in the Edwards Plateau. Most folks will not be getting rain or storms. Yet the Storm Prediction Center has elected to be safe. Better safe than sorry. They have included a level 1 risk for isolated severe thunderstorm potential hail across the eastern half of the state for today, tonight, into Tuesday morning. But as you saw on the previous weather model, in all likelihood, the only ones who are really going to be dealing with any sort of thunderstorm activity tonight into Tuesday morning will be Northeast Texas, East Texas, Southeast Texas, and even that is going to be on the low coverage side. Yet, if we by chance are able to pop a storm or two up this afternoon in places like the Edwards Plateau, the Concho Valley, into the Hill Country, those storms could have some hail. That's one of those conditional probabilities. Most likely not going to happen, but if it does, here you go. So we head on into the fire weather outlook over the next several days from the Texas A&M Forest Service. High to very high fire danger today: the Panhandle, West Texas, the Permian Basin, the Big Bend, the Concho Valley, Guadalupe Mountains, the Trans-Pecos, the Davis Mountains, how about the Davis Mountains, down into the Big Bend, the borderland far West Texas around El Paso. Tomorrow, a little lower in the Panhandle, West Texas, with the highest threat across the Concho Valley, the Hill Country, into far West Texas, the Big Bend. And then on Wednesday, same story. Notice there are no orange or reds showing up on this map, which is good. That means the overall fire weather threat is less intense than we dealt with about a week ago, which is good, but still, conditions will be favorable for the development of grass fires. Some of those fires could exhibit increased resistance to initial attack activity. All right, let's take a look at what we're going to be dealing with later this week. This is the Global Forecast System, the longer range American weather model. It shows we're going to have the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms as soon as Thursday morning, and those chances will continue off and on into Thursday evening and Friday, specifically the possibility of a few stronger storms Thursday night across the Arklatex, East Texas, Southeast Texas, perhaps North Texas into Central Texas, the Brazos Valley. Some of those storms could have hail. And then on Friday morning, as that area of thunderstorm activity moves east towards the Louisiana-Arkansas border, we may see severe thunderstorm potential continue. You can see here this model specifically a little faster with that. Other data is slower. It's just something we're going to have to watch for, but the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting the potential for some storms to be strong to severe. And then if this model is right, we may actually have some precipitation in far west Texas and the Permian Basin by Saturday morning. But expect at least the eastern half of Texas up into the Texas Panhandle. A chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms, maybe 2 or 3 rounds possible on Thursday and a Friday. We'll narrow down the specific timeline and the overall severe thunderstorm threat as we get closer. The system will move onshore in Southern California by midweek, allowing us to get weather balloon network data that'll give us a better idea of the current structure of the system, and that will narrow down the realm of possibilities in weather model land as we get into the late week. Remember, bad data in, bad data out. So at this point, confidence remains low. As we get closer, in all likelihood, we'll be able to narrow down the timeline, the specific threats, etc. In terms of forecast rain totals with the system today and tomorrow, along with later this week, we're looking at a decent chance of precipitation, perhaps 1/2 to 1 inch of rain across portions of Texoma, North Texas, into central Texas, the Brazos Valley, 1 to 2 inches in the Arklatex, East Texas, the Golden Triangle around Beaumont, into southeast Texas, with the potential for at least 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rain in the coastal plains, south central Texas, the hill country, the Concho Valley, the big country, northwest Texas, up into the Panhandle, where obviously we could use rain, so that would be good news. Temperatures over the next several days across the state. Well, for today, here you go. 70s and 80s, 60s in the Panhandle, 60s in the Trans-Pecos out into the borderland of far west Texas. Tomorrow, cool front filters into the Panhandle. Technically today it'll filter in. We'll have a northerly wind shift. It'll be a dry front. Not really much in the wind department, thankfully. Highs tomorrow, 50s northwestern Texas Panhandle from Dumas up to Dalhart, up to Texline. We'll see 60s Amarillo down to Plainview to Childress, 70 in Lubbock, 70s Andrews over to Abilene, Sweetwater, Midland, Odessa, Pecos, Fort Stockton, El Paso, 80s. Pretty much DFW Metroplex, Texoma, North Texas, all the way down into the hill country, southeast Texas. 90s tomorrow afternoon in the Edwards Plateau, Rio Grande Plains down into the Rio Grande Valley. Same thing for Wednesday, a little cooler in the Concho Valley, the big country, North Texas, and a little warmer in the Texas Panhandle. As we continue into Thursday, 60s in the Arklatex, 70s to 80s elsewhere except the higher terrain of the Davis Mountains, Alpine Marfa, up to the Guadalupe Mountains, out to the borderland of far west Texas, northern Texas Panhandle. We'll see highs in the 60s. And then on Friday, you can see a more potent cold front will bring a taste of February back to the state, even though it's March. Highs in the 40s across the northern Texas Panhandle, central Texas Panhandle, 50s, west Texas, with 60s, 70s, and 80s across the remainder of the state. And that'll take us into the weekend as that cool front continues to move southeast, bringing a bit of chill back to the state of Texas, but no Arctic outbreak. That is for sure. That'll be it for your Texas Weather Roundup on this Monday. We'll be keeping an eye on storm chances today, tonight, to Tuesday morning, even if they are on the slim side. And then, of course, the rain chances later this week, which we need. Otherwise, it'll be a mostly warm week across the state of Texas with less intense fire weather conditions expected, but still present. As always, you can get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radar, storm chasing video, and more. It's alarm time. In the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. If I get a copyright strike for that alarm, I'm going to be slightly annoyed. Be interesting though, wouldn't it? Alas. Free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. You can find us in your app store. Otherwise, visit us on the web, TexasStormChasers.com, and as always, for daily weather videos, you can find us on YouTube under Texas Weather Center. We'll have the next one out bright and early Tuesday. Y'all make it a great Monday. God bless.